Welcome to the South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Salkowski, Dustin Hassan, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Michael Germanuelian. God, I hope this show's going to be awesome. I feel like today's a good day. Let's see. Will we have a good show today? You can count on it. The Magic 8 has spoken, and it says this show's going to be good. It said I can count on it. My pre-warm-up for the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Power Hour Riverside recap. The South Texas Amateur Golf Tour team is here. My name is Miguel. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's restart. Hi, everybody. My name's Mike. I am here. No, guys, it's MD. Hope everyone's having a good night. It is Wednesday, July 17th. It is 7:34. And, man, we got hopefully a quick show for you. Easy show for you tonight. We've got something of a hectic week, as if the month itself couldn't be more hectic than it already is. We have two separate events. Event 3.5, as we're calling it, the Olmos Makeup event, as well as, oh my God, breaking news, everybody. I am being joined by Princess Belle. I didn't expect it, but hello, Belle. Can you say hello to everybody? Okay, now get out of here so I can work. Sorry about that. Fucking kids, man. I love you, beautiful. Rockstar. We have an exciting weekend. Olmos Basin. Two separate events. Event 3.5, as we are calling it. This is the makeup event from the spring season. This is the two-person best ball on Saturday. And we just closed registration as of 5 o'clock this evening for the Olmos Stroke Play event on Sunday. And what a cool kind of weekend. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be crazy. Second notice of players should be coming out, hopefully, tomorrow in regards to, or Friday, excuse me, for Saturday's two-person. Tomorrow we should see the first notice of players for the Stroke Play event. But lots of cool stuff. We're going to recap Riverside as well. But before we do that, let me bring in my co-host, my friend, my dear friend. And frankly, I would go as far to say my facial hair inspiration, Mr. Bradley Gilbert.
What's going on, MD? How you doing?
Looking like he's in his villain era with the whole thing right now. But he's got a hell of a background.
Yeah, right? Look at that.
Look at that. Bradley, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm good, man, but we don't need an 8-ball to tell us that the show's going to be good because we're talking about Riverside.
At least not this kind of 8-ball.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're talking about
Sorry,
Riverside.
inappropriate.
Riverside was awesome, and I've heard nothing but great things about Olmos. I haven't played it yet lately, but I'm really excited for Olmos.
I mean, almost posted some videos of the course. I think back to a couple of months ago, I think everybody was kind of a little bit in panic mode looking at Olmos. First, we saw it submerged at one point. Then we saw them stripping the putting green to go salvage greens out on the course.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what happened out there, but they've gotten it under control and it's looking good.
I've heard nothing but good comments, especially after this past weekend. They had the city championship there.
Yep.
Man, so I'm really excited for Olmos.
It's going to be really, really cool. We'll talk a little bit more about Olmos because obviously two events this weekend, two separate events this weekend at Olmos. It's a little bit tricky too because it's it's hard to have two separate events on the same weekend,
Yeah,
especially
that's
when we
fun.
don't plan it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
I think everyone knows, hey, I'm playing BRAC, or I'm playing, I'm playing the playoffs. I know I've got back-to-back weekends potentially.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got Masters or PC Open. I'm playing back-to-back days.
Yeah.
This kind of becomes one of those opportunities, let's call it, for people to maybe pick up a spot or two in the point standings, which we will talk about later on. Currently, as it stands, we have 118 players registered and signed up for Olmos for the two-person best ball event, and only 88 players.
88, really?
Only 88 players for the stroke play, which is really kind of a crazy number. We've never had a number that low in probably 3 or 4 years. Now, that being said, I'm sure we'll see some more signups. I'm hoping we'll hit about 100 before the end of the week and go into the weekend with that. But
and I know it's got to be the summertime. Everyone's on vacation probably and everything. I understand.
It's a mix of
yeah.
I mean, it's a mix of being rescheduled. Let's call it what it is. I mean, not every wife or spouse or significant other is as cool about letting you go play 2 times in a row on a weekend unless they have it planned out in advance.
Yeah, for sure. Plus the heat, we're gonna make the best of it, but it's understandable.
It certainly is. But before we jump into Olmos, because I definitely want to talk Olmos, let's talk about Riverside. We will certainly talk about your amazing play this weekend. But Riverside, I think, again, continues to be, I mean, we were making the joke. We made the joke with Jesse and made the jokes this weekend. We've stopped calling Riverside, good for Riverside. It's just good. Just like Mission's not mission good. It's just good.
I mean, Riverside, I mean, I've said it before, but it's my favorite course on the trail right now. And it's because, I mean, it can be a really tough test if you want it to be, which I thought, the setup committee this past weekend did an awesome job.
Some tough pins.
Very tough pin positions. But it was a true test of golf. And man, the conditions overall are just absolutely amazing. I mean, I would fight someone if they said anything negative about Riverside at this point.
I mean, it's aside from the fact, I mean, the greens were slow, and that's
a little bit slow, yeah. But
that's protected. That's never a bad thing. But I would, if I think there's no such thing as perfect. So if we're gonna find a critique, that would be my critique. But yeah, to Travis's point, turf grass. They had turf grass on every tee box was pretty freaking incredible. I think the only tee box that I walked up to that I was like, "Oh shit," was number 4's tee box.
Yeah, just holds water a little bit. Yeah.
Just sunk into it.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Danny Lee's like, I got 60 pounds on you. I don't know if I want to even stand on this. I don't know if I want to stand on this tee box. I don't blame you.
And to Travis's point, number 11, that was the first time I've teed off at the back tee box on number 11 at Riverside. So it hasn't been touched. I mean, I have no complaints at all about Riverside. It was absolutely amazing.
I mean, my worst putting performance of the season to date, and that was with 30 putts. It was 30 putts.
Well, that's not that bad.
Tough. Yeah. It's tough to be mad at 75, but I can't tell you the last time I missed a putt from inside of 3 feet, and I can't tell you the last time I saw that many putts just glide the edge and just not fall.
And see, it's the opposite for me. On those greens at Riverside, I literally feel like I can make every putt I look at. I was just focused on hitting greens because I knew I could make putts because it's just pure putting surface.
I missed a couple of greens and hit some good chips. And I mean, you and I play enough together to know, I don't really worry about it. I chip and then go grab my putter and just, okay, it's 2 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the worst putting I've had in a couple of weeks. And in champ flight, you can't. 75s are trash.
Yeah.
In champ flight.
Well, we're teaming up for Saturday at Olmos, so you better get that figured out.
Putting will be under control
Perfect.
on Saturday. I thrive under the pressure. I'm ready for us to go. We keep getting like second places and shit like that. Like it's time for us to just go ball out at
Yeah,
Olmos.
time to take care of business. Greg over here talking about the rough between 13 and 14. I completely agree. I mean, there is actually rough out at Riverside.
I
Like
mean,
it will affect your ball.
I'm gonna be honest. Greg Graff just hit fairways.
Yeah,
That's now had this podcast been 2 years ago, and I said, well, Greg hit fairways. Everyone could say like, MD, you haven't used a driver in 2 years, so calm down. But as the official driving master, I will give myself that title off the tee. Hit fairways.
Yeah.
Travis, my only critique should mow the rough to the right of the cart path on 14. I would agree with that. But that being said, we played 14 so short that I don't think it came into. I can't say that because I can't speak for all the field, but I don't think it would have come into as much play. But it would have, I think, been more in play had we teed off from the back.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but again, man, I have no complaints about Riverside. It was absolutely amazing.
I will say I didn't even look. I should have gone and looked because I didn't even see what Casey Carnes did because I was thinking about number 12. I was thinking about number 12 today actually too. Hold on number 12. Okay.
So number 12, the par 5. Yeah.
So number 12, the par 5. I wanted to see who else made birdie, and there were plenty of birdies there. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 birdies.
Okay.
I think Carnes and I are the only two people who played 12 down 13 fairway.
Yeah. How did you play 12? You went down 13. So
I went down. What do you mean through the tree?
Oh, we were all the way back. So
all the way back. So tree wasn't in my way. I hit it out. I was like 280 something. I was in the rough a little bit, but just caught it really nice. Hit it to about 50 yards short in the rough, but sitting up nicely, and flipped it to 6 feet and made my birdie. Nice. And I was Mark Kacheski and I decided to play it that way. And we were playing with a new guy who hadn't played out here. He played in the spring, I think, or played last year. And he and Danny Lee were both looking at us like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I do this statistically on this hole. If the tee box is here, I'm going to do this every single time. I'm like, I would never have done it, but I saw Casey Carnes do it one time. It was crazy. And I'm like, that's my play. And I'm on 13 fairway, and Carnes comes strolling by to his ball on the fairway there too. And I'm like, knows what's up. I'm like, the goat of that move, or the goat of goats for the tour in Casey Carnes. I'm like, did the same thing Casey did. Now he hit it 80 yards further than me.
Yeah.
But we both made a birdie, so I don't give a fuck.
Made birdie. That's all that matters.
But Riverside was freaking cool. Riverside was in great shape. Weather was okay too. I think having carts was pretty nice as well. I think, and it feels like everyone did I hope everyone did, but I know for like my group, we were very, I don't want to say hesitant, but we were certainly very aware of us driving on the golf course, and almost tried to avoid it as much as possible in order to keep and maintain.
Yeah.
Like normally where you're like, I'm going to peel out. Like we played a true 90 degree. Like I'm going to go here and then here. Yeah. Like there was no messing around out there. No one wanted to mess with the course at all or put it in a bad position. I hope they keep that thing cart path only till September.
Yeah, for sure. I understand the need for carts out there. I mean, it just makes sense to make it available for everyone who wants to play. I mean, it just makes absolute sense. But for the tournament, man, I had walked so much. I had walked Riverside so many times, and I got used to it. I just carried my own bag and tried to stay in that groove. So, I mean, it looked fun. Looked fun riding in the carts, but yeah, So,
I
oh
mean,
well.
I definitely enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
either need a cart or a caddy.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I don't believe walking 9 holes with you on Friday
Yeah.
or on Friday and carrying my own bag, or
Get you
Saturday
out
and
of here.
carrying my own bag. I'm like, I don't need to do that again.
Yeah.
Like, you know
Yeah,
what,
it took me a couple days to recover, but yeah, it was worth it.
dude? I mean, that immediately, like, I talk about it and I can feel my shoulder blades
Yeah.
tightening.
Yeah,
I can
for real.
feel them not be happy.
We're not getting
Um,
younger.
I mean, here's the thing. I really am not in a position to say I'm not getting younger. I'm 32. Like, I am in the. I mean,
I'm
I
not
gotta be
saying
in
I'm
the.
old. I'm not
I
saying I'm
mean,
old, man. No.
I mean, I gotta be in the ten
Kidding.
percent of youngest people out here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting I'm getting further and further away from being the youngest person in the
Yeah.
groups like I used to be.
Yeah.
There was something special about that when I was like, oh, I'm 28, you guys are 47, and they're like, oh, these young kids, fuck them. And now I'm like 21-year-old. I'm like, oh, kids,
Well, I
Jesus.
will say I turned 42 this year, but I feel like some of my best golf is in front of me. I'm
Ah,
really excited.
I mean, I think everybody watching can agree. You are. I mean, your scores are just getting better and better. I can't wait for you to have to come to Champ Flight.
It's starting to feel dangerous, man. It's
Did
exciting. Very exciting.
did you go through and do your stats? So we had I was pretty heated
Yeah.
on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I needed to take a step back. Like I'm laying there in bed. Emma's watching, YouTube, and I'm sitting there on my iPad, and I'm like, let me pull some stats. And that's one of my favorite things about the tour is we keep so much historical data, not just the handicaps, but we can go back and I can look at tournaments from years past. And I went through and did the math on mine, and like I think I was averaging in the spring of 2023, I was averaging for the individual events and best balls that we played that I kept full score. That stretch that season, I averaged an 82.6 or something like that. And then summer averaged a like 76.3, and now I'm averaging a 75.1 or something like that.
Nice.
So like marked improvement.
For
But
sure.
like I'd love to see what I was planning on going to do that math and pull yours if you hadn't. Because I want to see what you're doing, because I feel like those numbers, like I'm pretty okay with picking up 5 strokes, 6 strokes in my game over the last 12 months, 14 months. I would love to see what you're doing.
Well, I haven't done it, but I can tell you there was a long stretch where I just felt like I wasn't scoring at all, but I felt like I was playing a lot better than what I was scoring. So
I feel like the big thing, like I went through I went through and looked at your stuff on my way home, and it's like, dude, you bogeyed number 3.
Yeah,
17 fucking pars.
It was one bad swing, MD. Got quick at the top, and it cost.
It was a tough pin. It was a tough pin.
It was, yeah.
But I mean, dude, your game is. I think the biggest thing for you, and the biggest thing I've noticed in your trend, like if we call it the last like 6 rounds or so, really in the last 6 rounds, you've eliminated that big mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That weird double, or God forbid, that weird triple in there that makes no sense on your scorecard.
Yeah.
And that's literally it.
Yeah, for real. No, and you know what the biggest thing that I attribute the improvement to is the competition on tour. Like these guys that I'm playing in First Flight, I mean, they're not going anywhere, and they're only getting better as well. So, like, Jeff Werns in the comments, I mean, he was at the top of the leaderboard all day at Riverside. Michael St. Clair, Andre Ramirez, I mean, everyone, Greg Kia, I mean, everybody. Everybody in First Flight is dangerous, or everybody in every flight is dangerous, really. But the people I'm competing against directly, I mean, it's only making me better, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And and to that end, you're playing more golf outside of the tour, outside of the tournaments. I mean, like, you're doing some traveling and playing some new golf courses. You're playing with, some people that, that are good freaking golfers that make everything just a little bit more competitive.
For sure. But I'm hitting a lot less balls now too. I can tell you, before Riverside, I hit 8 chip shots and that's it. And I hit the course. So I think I'm going to stick to that strategy for a while.
I will speak on Travis's behalf, where I can tell you that is the exact reason why I felt like shit when I teed off.
Oh, is that right?
Because
you didn't warm up?
I got to the golf course. I painted. The one of the few things that I'll say that I hate about a shotgun start at a course that doesn't have a range is that you do reach a certain point where it's like everyone's going to funnel.
Yeah.
So I think I took 3 chips, maybe 10 putts and 10 swings in the net, and that was it. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, for me, it was for me, I would go out there for a warm up, and then we're all golfers, and we know what happens when we have bad warm ups. You're probably going to play good because you have lower expectations. But for me, it was so consistent that I would go out there and try to warm up, and I'd just be striping it, finding the center of the club face. But as soon as I got onto the first tee, all of a sudden I had an expectation that I was going to hit every shot like that, I guess. And I just would not play good. I couldn't score, But now when I go to the tee, I have more trust about the work that I put into it, and not trying to find something at the warm up, So I think that's made the big difference for me.
What we do in this is prove that there's no one right way to warm up.
Yeah, for sure.
Travis needs 2 hours. I need a minimum 45 minutes. And now we have Brad saying I need 6 minutes. And
exactly. I just need 8 chip shots. I'm good to go.
Yeah, like he is perfectly fine by then. So let's go ahead and talk about Riverside results. And let's look at our new top 10. Bear with me as I am pulling up Golf Genius again and getting into this. Let us start.
And while you're doing that, I just saw Greg in the comments said he was having a bad warm up and was expecting a bad round, but he obviously did not play bad. He played really good. So
I mean, if you have Greg Graff's frustratingly positive attitude,
I love it.
There's no way. Like, I'm sure this warm up is going so shitty. Like, I can hear Greg Graff's voice say it.
Yeah.
And it still sounds happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's still like I can hear the laugh he says at the end of it, and you're instantly like, yeah, I mean, who cares?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Like, I'm just gonna go be Greg Graff.
Never change, Greg.
Just don't change, please. Let's talk winners and second place losers. Fourth flight. Fourth flight was interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Less interesting. Well, it's a cool. I don't know the relationship. Is it father son?
Brother. Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Yeah.
Person. We'll call them person. They are related.
They are related for
sure. There was certainly some interesting scores.
Let's look at those net scores. Are we gonna start with the net scores?
It's in the net. It's on the net side. I want to start because I want to know. I should have texted Roger Murray and been like, just out of curiosity, how did this feel? Confirmed they were brothers.
Oh, brothers. Okay, right on.
Cool. Confirmed brothers.
How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So on the net side of fourth flight, coming in at let's call it what it was. It was a shitty net 21.
21 under?
Net 20. That is a net 51 by Gabe Pineda.
Yeah.
That is 20 under. That is still that's a 92 gross. So it's not it's not like he's, shooting 65 out there and screwing everybody over. his handicap is correct. All the information, everything that we have on him is accurate.
Yeah.
He had a good day.
This is what it looks like when you get better. I mean, you just he's just improving. He's working on his game.
I've said it before. It's so much easier for a high handicapper. It's so much easier for a high handicapper to see leaps and bounds of improvement.
Absolutely.
It's those little things that they fix that immediately start to yield results.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of someone who made a couple of switches and their game is leveling up. And I mean, this is it's pretty awesome. And Greg Graff, correct. Art Mesa has Tiger Wardrobe competition.
Sure.
I don't know if Art has invested in Sunday Red yet. I know he's put a lot. He's going a lot with good lately. He's been doing good because I've been talking to him about his apparel. That was the first thing I asked when Nike said that they were ending their partnership with Tiger. I'm like, are you going to go buy everything Tiger Woods in clearance, or are you going to migrate over to his new brand? And he's like, I'm actually thinking good. And he's been rocking some really nice good shirts. But Gabe Pineda, shooting a net 21 under. That is a net 51, which is not the lowest score in tour history, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, and look at that smile, man. That is like, man, he played around right there. That's good. Good for him.
And again, I wonder how Roger Murray feels, because Roger played shot really 10 good. Under. He played great. It shot really net good. 10 under and still got lapped 11 strokes.
Play better, Roger. Play better.
Like, Roger, get your shit together. Like, this is what happens.
Oh, I'm telling you, Roger's coming. He's going to be right behind.
Oh, I fully expect to see Roger Murray making a repeat on the South Texas team this year. So congrats to Gabe. That is his first win. Yeah. Cookie Mafia. That is a net 21 net. Couldn't be more excited. But I think part of that smile had to do with our winner on net side, that player being Mark Pineda, the brother of Gabe. Both of them.
There he is.
Mama, we're coming home with cookies.
Yeah. There we go.
Absolutely fantastic. Shooting an 8 over 80, which put him only actually one stroke behind his brother on the net side. He finished at a net 20 under. Both brothers had a day, as it were.
I think we can confidently say, "Welcome to Champ Flight," right? No,
oh shit! Welcome to Second Flight.
Yeah, at least, but really good playing. And how cool is that? Share with your brother that experience. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Same flight, same everything.
Not in the same group, right?
I don't think they were in the same group.
Yeah, I think different groups, but yeah.
Like, if my brother and I were to come out and play, like, I'd be in Champ Flight and we'd have to create an extra flight.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all he wants to do is just beat the shit out of a golf ball. Like, he has I wish my brother would pair up for a tournament with me. I told him, I'm like, can you just come down for one tour event and I'll put you in and we'll be fourth flight all day. You're 36 handicap.
MD for sure.
But and you would get double MDs. You get Matt and Mike Dermanuelian. The MDs would be a threat. But shout out to Mark shooting 8 over 80. That is good enough for first place. Just beats out Roger Murray. Roger Murray played. Again, he shot net 10 under. He shot an 84.
Oh man,
dude shot an 84.
That's awesome.
That's friggin' awesome. Like,
look how competitive fourth flight is, man. You got to play some golf. And these guys are. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's stellar playing. So really, really good job to our fourth flight winners. For sure. Really, really cool to see. Moving on to third flight. Third flight net had a 3-way playoff to determine our winners. Finishing in second net, shooting a net 8 under 64, Danny Puckett. Danny continuing his trend of freaking fantastic golf.
Yeah.
That being said, Excited to see. Maybe this is the year Danny is both player and videographer.
I have a feeling this is the year. Yeah,
It might be the year.
he's working. He's working really hard on his game. I know for
He
sure.
is.
So
But Danny Puckett shoots a net 8 under, second place, loses the
nice.
scorecard playoff to Dale Beavers.
There he is. Big Dale.
Dale Beavers shooting an 8 under 64, good enough to win in the scorecard playoff. I am going to run through it real quick because I am interested to see where it was won. Dale Beavers outright won it on the first playoff hole, hole number 4, making a par,
Nice.
which is a damn fine par.
For sure.
That was the long hole and a tough pin.
And I know being a shotgun start, it's a little bit hard to tell, but I was actually watching some of the other leaderboards, and I was watching this one too, and Dale was at the top for most of the round. Like, I mean, he just played very consistent golf, it looked like. So
he went 41-40. It was very consistent.
I played with him and Ed Mitchell at Fort Sam. They teamed up together, and man, Dale was hitting it really good. And so I'm not surprised. Good for you, Dale.
But Dale coming up big. I mean, you got to think about it, guys. Like there's not a lot of holes that I think about on the golf course. I really think about the number 1 handicap hole the most. Because I know that's where I have had moments where I have said to myself, like, oh, I just bogeyed this hole. I'm going to lose in the scorecard playoff.
Yeah.
Like it's over in the scorecard playoff. Like that's the only hole like I would care about. And that hole in particular, number 4, if you ask me what the number 1 handicap hole is on any other course on the trail, I could not tell you. I will always know it's number 4.
Absolutely.
So congrats to Dale Beavers.
Congrats, Dale and Danny.
Great par on the number 1 handicap hole to win a scorecard playoff against Danny Puckett. And he was very close. There was one other player who shot 8 under net, and that was Matthew Kawamoto.
Okay, nice.
He did not have a good score on the number 1 handicap hole, but it didn't matter much because he was our winner on gross side. That is a 7 over 79, net 8 under 64. Beating out Dale Beavers by 2 strokes.
Man, it's good playing.
But really, really good. Only person in the 70s on in third flight.
Nice.
So absolutely, I mean,
and I don't think this is his first cookie. I'm pretty sure this is not his first cookie. He's playing pretty consistent.
I don't believe this is his first cookie.
Yeah.
And that's with 2 doubles. He shot 7 over with 2 doubles.
Dang. I wish I could do that.
Like
I'd be high 80s if I got 2 doubles.
I mean that's pretty damn good. Well, not the way you played this weekend, buddy. You could have had 2 doubles and still played pretty damn fine. But Matt out here shooting a 79. Looks like he managed the golf course really well. Had a good birdie on 8. Had a good birdie on 16.
Nice.
8's a good birdie hole. I think eight was not the pin itself is in a fairly easy position, but one of the reason why I played that pin up, I chose to put that pin up, or the tee boxes up, and because the one thing that ends up happening, you tee off from the tips and further back, right? You can miss the right side short and still have a line.
For real, I agree.
From the tees being as up as they were, if you were right of that tree down the right side, you have no shot in.
I agree.
And it made it a much tougher hole, I think, on the day in general. I'm sure it was still not as tough as some of the other holes, just with the pin positions alone. But a birdie on 8 by Matt there is really, really impressive.
It might not be a popular opinion, but in my opinion, that's probably one of the toughest driving holes on the course because you just can't see it. You can't see the fairway because of that tree, first of all.
Yep.
And second of all, I mean, there's a couple of times where I hit a ball like I thought it was going to be the left side of the fairway, and it's like over in the rough. It's like it's a deceptively hard tee shot.
It really is.
Yeah.
Definitely a tough tee shot, but it looks like Matt navigated that hole well. Looks like he navigated the rest of the round pretty well. So congrats to Matt Kawamoto on his 79 gross win in third flight. Moving on to second flight. Second flight net. Not his first time. Well, I don't have a picture of him, so we're not going to be able to show him. But not his first time in the winner's circle. Matt Tomerlin beating out Mario Rivera in a scorecard playoff, shooting a 6 under 66 on the net side. Matt wins that on, let's see. Matt won it on the fourth hole, won it on the first playoff hole with a par on hole number 4. It looks actually, he shot 79.
Dang.
Played pretty damn good. I mean, he had a couple of, had some good scores in there. Net 66, awesome. Matt Tomerlin gets a W. Congrats to Matt. Don't have a picture of him to show. But that being said, we do have a picture of the sexy beast, the jolliest of the ambassadors, the friendliest of the tour, the sweetest of the sweet, the most adorbs. He would almost be like a baby seal of sorts if you had to call it one. This man right here, Gregory Graff,
and he said,
Stud Muffin extraordinaire. Welcome to first flight, winning over Jonathan Harder. Greg Graff shoots a 76.
That's unbelievable. And in the comments, he's saying it's his best official tour round. That's awesome.
I wasn't sure if it was or not. It seemed like it was going to be pretty damn close.
Yeah.
But abso-freaking-lutely fantastic playing by Greg Graff. That's
amazing.
It cannot, I mean, I don't think it goes without saying that the people, I mean, and this goes for every single friggin' flight. The people who are out there practicing the most, the people who are out there prepping for these events, the people who are out there and not taking themselves too seriously and just going out and playing their game.
Yeah.
We see their ugly friggin' mugs every week.
Yeah.
Because they have figured it out. Greg Graff continuing to play great golf.
Absolutely.
Continuing to be a great person. And I mean, just what more do you want? Congrats, Greg Graff.
He's going to be a force to reckon with the rest of the year. I mean, he always is, but man, it's turning for him right now.
San Pedro has some of my money. I imagine that they do.
Yeah.
But with these results, can we just call that money well spent?
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeff Warren, people out here buying a game. Jeff is just feeling salty after a weekend.
Jeff doesn't need to buy anything. We'll talk about it next, but
we'll talk about that. I'm a little angry at Jeff too.
Oh yeah,
he's a little on my shit list. Like
we don't need to talk about it though, right?
I'm gonna talk about it because you know what? I'm gonna talk about it because you know what? Like, I wasn't that popular in school, if you can imagine. But never in my life did I ask a girl out or ask someone to partner up with me on something, and I get this like emphatic. Well, first off, he had the audacity to give me shit because I was 2 over when he saw me at one point on the course, and we were just conversing.
Play better, maybe I'll consider it.
That's what he said. He said you have to earn me.
That's
like
hilarious.
He's like, I'm the prize here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, Brad Gilbert's going to bail on me for Willow. I need a partner. We've been talking about it too long. Like, let's go. And he's like, yep, absolutely. Let's go.
Nice.
And I'm sitting there hoping all the best for him for the rest of that round.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking like, hey, that's my partner for a tournament. Like, I'm going to cheer Jeff Warren on.
Yeah.
And then
that was your first mistake. Never cheer for Jeff Warren.
Within 6 hours, I get a call.
Yeah.
Hey, I forgot I had shit.
Oh, dang.
But you know what? Fun announcement. It worked out great because Brad's partner that he was bailing on me to go play with had to bail on him, so we're back together.
There we go. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Things are back. And Jeff is here trying to, explain himself, and that's fine.
I meant to tell you, he actually reached out to me after that, asking me if I wanted a partner. He said you. I was like,
I mean, I told Travis, I was like, Trev, I've asked a lot of people, and a lot of people have said no, and I'm starting to feel like
no,
I'm not really liked.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Like, I'm getting turned down by fourth flighters and third flighters right now. Like, I don't want
to. You intimidate us.
That's absolute bullshit. I am the most fun person to go play golf with. But let's talk about first flight. Let's talk first flight.
Speaking of Jeff Wern,
on the gross side, or excuse me, we'll start on net. Shooting a very, very nice and very clear of the rest of the field, 8 under net. Jeffrey Wern.
I mean, well, first of all, great playing, Jeff.
Which is bravo. Yeah. I think that's a 75. Which, I mean, in first flight.
I saw this.
I don't know if it gets it done in first flight still. Like that. That's very.
Well, I think if he had to rise to the occasion, he would have. But I saw this coming, and this needs to be like a motivational thing to everybody on tour, because this guy won his first cookie at Riverside. So, I mean, if I kind of came out wrong, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if Jeff can win a cookie with that, no, that came out wrong too. I think what I meant to say was just good playing, Jeff.
If Jeff Wern can win, you can win too.
No. He knows I'm kidding. Jeff, man, he's another one I'm not surprised. What I am surprised of is that that's his first cookie, because
I'm oddly shocked by that too.
Yeah, I've only played with him once, but I could tell. Like, I mean, it's there. He's very close.
He is. I mean, Jeff's a friggin' really stout golfer, and I'm surprised. Like that's his first cookie. And I mean, I caught up with him. I saw him at the turn, so I don't know what hole he started on, but I caught him on hole 9.
Okay.
Or no, I caught him on 9 for me, so he was on number 1, which he birdied. I didn't get to tell him good job. He hit a really sick bunker shot out of the bunker on the front right side of the green and dipped it to like a foot and a half. And I knew he was in the bunker. I hit my tee shot right after. I didn't see where he ended up until I turned, and that ball's there, and he's just like casually walking up. I was looking at him like, you gonna look at me and be like, well, yeah, what the fuck?
You might be
but with me, partner.
You might be mistaking him for somebody else, because I've seen him hit out of a bunker before. No, I'm just playing. I just play.
But you two were battling it out. Like I'll be honest. Yeah. I was looking at that was the only flight. I mean, I think I looked. I don't think I pulled the Open Champion flight till maybe like my 16th hole. Like I was looking at you guys the entire time, because I was like, Brad and Jeff are playing really good right now.
It was, man.
What am I looking at?
It was fun. The first time I looked at the leaderboard was like through 8 holes. And both him and Andre Ramirez were 1 under, and I'm like, what in the world's going on?
Red numbers right now. In first flight is not ideal.
Yeah, for real. So I was like, I knew I had to step it up a little bit, but yeah, he was at the top of the leaderboard all day. Played really well. Definitely pushed me at the end there for sure. So yeah, congrats, Jeff.
Congrats to Jeff. Really, really good playing. Moving on to gross. Had this been just a gross flighted kind of event, 1 through 5 would have been so easy to figure out.
Yeah.
I Casey might remember it. I don't ever recall seeing where first play shot 1 over, second play shot 2 over, third 3 over, fourth 4 over, and 5 over.
That's crazy.
I've never seen that. That is freaking cool. But shooting a 1 over 73, I'm not going to put his picture up. I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
There we
There's
go.
your friggin' cookie champ right there. Um, Brad Gilbert, gross 73. Tell us about that round.
Well, like Greg
Doesn't seem like
said,
much happened
yeah,
based on the scorecard.
for real, man. Like Greg, that was probably the best. I've shot 2 under at La Cantera, but I didn't, I wasn't even close to being fully under control or anything, But man, at Riverside, it felt like the best way I can explain it was I felt so in control all day. And I had a game plan. It was a very conservative game plan to avoid, like you said, like we talked about before, avoid the big numbers. For example, like for every front pin position, I was adding 10 yards and I was playing to that number, anticipating that I would miss short and be right there, right at the pin.
Yep.
But what ended up happening was I hit every single one on the number. So I'm like lag putting on every single hole. And really the only bogey was number 3, the par 3. I had a 7-iron and I just got quick at the top. It hit the tree that was guarding the green and dropped straight down into the mulch, So the tree was between me and the pin, right? And man, I'll tell you, my first instinct was hooding that sand wedge and trying to hook a chip shot, from 40 yards out to try to get it close, But I was like, that's stupid, just chip up onto the green. I was playing with Jay Hine and Nick Lewis, and Jay hit a great shot. He was on the right side on the top tier of the par 3. And so I was literally just aiming at his ball and trying to chip it out. And then I ended up 2-putting. But yeah, that was the only bad swing. But man, I'll tell you, the last 3 holes were very intense. I've never been more nervous than I was.
What were your last? Which holes were your last 3 holes?
Yeah, last holes. Well, my last hole was 14.
Okay.
So, and it was playing into the wind, and it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. So on hole number 12, the par 5, I didn't go left, but I looked at the leaderboard. So I looked at the leaderboard, and I saw Michael St. Clair and Jeffrey Wern at 3 over, and I'm sitting at 1 over at the time. So what I'm thinking to myself is my goal is to get to even par, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to expand that gap. I know these guys are dangerous. Michael St. Clair, Jeff Wern, they're going to make a move on these last 3 holes. Probably going to get a birdie. So I was like, let me just try to get par. And it's a, par 5 is very gettable. Par 5. So I hit a pretty good drive. Hit laid up to about 120 yards or whatever, 101 yards, hit a sand wedge, just lipped out the birdie putt. So I'm like, okay, I'm still 1 over, 2 holes to play, still got a 2-shot lead. So got up on number 13. 13, in my opinion, is a deceptively tough driving hole as well, because you could easily lose it to the right. If you get over to the right behind that little tree that sticks out by the cart path, you got no shot, so. But I ended up hitting a really good drive. I didn't look at the leaderboard again. Ended up hitting a really good drive. I thought I holed out from, probably about 70 yards on my second shot. And so I was like 4 or 5 feet for birdie on hole 13. Just missed the putt. I hit the putt I wanted to. It never broke, whatever. So I made par. So now I'm going to the last hole, number 14. And on that walk, it is a little bit of a walk over there. I pull up the leaderboard. And sure enough, Michael St. Clair has birdied, and he's at 2 over. So now I'm at 1 over. Michael St. Clair's at 2 over. Jeff Wern's at 3 over. So now on hole number 14, it's switched from my goal being even par. So now I'm nervous about, messing up this hole or something. I didn't go full of negative or anything, but I knew I needed to at least par number 14. So hit a pretty good drive. And I hit an iron. I hit my approach shot probably like, 3 paces short of the green, right? And that pin was kind of in the front center, So I'm getting up to this chip shot thinking, man, I could easily blade this or chunk it or whatever, right? Right? Like, that was my
Just
first.
such the wrong.
I know that was my
Out
first
of
thought. But get this,
like
MD. But get this.
out
Hold
of
on.
everything you've done to get better, and
Hold
you
on.
have
Hold
that
on.
thought.
Hold on. I'm gonna redeem myself. Because that was literally my first. That was like the flash thought that came up. Like it just happened, right? Because I knew I needed to par this hole, right? I wanted to chip it in. I wanted to make birdie. But so that was my first thought. But then I told myself, you know what are you talking about? You're Brad Gilbert. You probably got to chip this in, right?
There it is. There it is.
So that's the difference. I was trying to reframe it. But anyway, so I left it like,
oh my God.
I hit the chip shot and left it about 6 feet short. So now I'm like freaking out. It's like, oh, come on, man. So I've got a 6-footer knowing that I need to make it. I didn't look at I didn't see what Michael St. Clair scored on the number 1 handicap hole.
I can tell you right now, either way, had you made it or missed it, you still win.
Gotcha.
You beat Jeff Warren in a scorecard playoff, and you would beat Michael St. Clair in a scorecard playoff. So
Gotcha.
you would have been gross automatically either way.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I didn't even think about looking at that, but I'm telling you, man, over that chip and that putt, it was the most nervous that I've probably ever been, like including, first tee jitters and everything. And I mean, it meant so much to me, it's like, I wanted to get it. And I love that feeling. And I love being able to, whether I executed it or not, I would have been fine either way. But the fact that I was able to execute was really cool.
I mean, he finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you played 1 over on your first real 9, and then you played.
Yeah.
I mean, dude. I mean, it's
and all
17 pars is so fucking impressive.
So I hit 10 greens. So 8. I had 8. I had 8 up and down opportunities and only made 7 of those, right? So, but a lot of those, most of them actually were like from 6 to 8 feet. I had to make that putt to save par. And I completely contributed to the putting conditions at Riverside. I mean, they're just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I had a hard time getting dialed in to those greens, but the lines I picked were good, and they all rolled the line the way I read it. Course was in great shape, but great playing, bud.
Thanks,
moving on, Champ Flight coming in, winning 4 under, net 68, winning a scorecard playoff against Jason Bird. Our man, congrats on a round well done, Mr. Weldon.
Yes, sir.
Dustin Weldon coming up with another win this season. Dustin continues to play great golf. I feel like he's been kind of quiet on the stroke play front. Obviously, he and Sean always play well together, and Dustin's always in the mix. But I feel like I haven't seen him get nearly as many wins as he should have had this season. Good to see him up on the board.
Yeah.
Absolutely great playing.
I'm interested to see how he plays number 12, because he smokes the ball. He's such a long hitter.
Number 12, he made birdie.
Yeah, I wonder, like with the tee shot, I wonder where, if he goes
there. I promise you, there's a lot of maybe if there were more than 6 people that went that route that I went, I'd be shocked.
Oh, gotcha.
And the only reason why I went that route was because the tee box was all the way back.
Yeah, and you got to fade it too, right? You got to that has to be a fade. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So the only reason why I did that move was because of that angle, because I knew, I'm like, well, I need to make a birdie here. Like, I need to start something, and I'm like, I'm gonna make par. Like, I should make par. I'm like, but either way, I'm like, let's just go have fun and go take it down the other way. I told Mark, I'm like, Mark, I haven't carried a bag this whole. Casey Graham went that way, so we are at 4.
Yeah,
6.5 is the number.
That's a good company.
But I told Mark, I'm like, hey, I haven't you been walking all day? I'm like, I think I'll take a walk with you. And we just both went our way, walked that way. Our partners both drove off thinking they're freaking stupid.
Yeah.
But Dustin Weldon,
Good job.
putting up a 4 under net 68. Beats Jason Bird in a playoff. I was kind of right there at 3 under. Zertucci, Landry, and Kacheski, and Carnes net 2 under. So good playing by them as well. Where
I will say real quick, MD, I'm really glad Mark Kacheski's in champ flight with y'all because I was getting tired of that guy beating me.
I mean, I sat there. I was like, dude, I'm like, Mark, I don't think you and I have ever played in a event together.
Yeah.
I was like, we've obviously played together a lot, this season on our off weekends.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't think you and I have played a competitive round with each other on the tour before.
Yeah, Mark's a good dude. Everyone on tour is a good dude. And do
that. Champ flight gross. Good numbers pretty much across the field. I was not surprised to see this person in the winner's circle.
Yeah.
We'll pull up points after this. I can tell you at this point, congrats. Welcome to the South Texas Match Play Challenge team, Steven Evans. Our winner this at Riverside this weekend, shooting a 4 under 68 gross.
I am disappointed. I am disappointed in Steven because I saw him Friday. I think Friday before the tournament, and his goal was 67. So
I mean, his one and only.
Maybe
he'll tell you anything that didn't go in. Anything that didn't go in was an error.
Yeah, right.
But that being said, 13 would be his only actual blemish at bogey on 13, which is very interesting. You wouldn't think that would be. Steven Evans does draw the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like the right side was really something he had to worry about.
He might have hit too far and went behind the tree on the left.
He might have been in the friggin' bunker.
Or
something.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know what happened. Steven Evans, bogey's 13, the only blemish.
Play better, Steven. Play better.
Yes, Steven. Figure out your stuff. Get your shit together, man. As we say that, he's out on the golf course.
Exactly. Getting ready for Olmos.
managing to be like the pinnacle of golf dad.
Yeah, exactly.
So absolutely fantastic. Great playing Steven Evans. That is like his 30th win in a row, whatever. I don't friggin' know anymore. Steven Evans has comfortably made this summer season his bitch so far. And let's just be honest about it. And that being said,
really good point.
For the first time in what feels like a very, very long time, we have a score or a points list update to the tour right now, and I'm super excited.
I'm really excited about that.
Updated results. Let's talk about it. Couple of people tied at 9. Mike St. Clair and Jonathan Harder. Both of those guys had a great weekend. They didn't play in 2 events, or they each missed an event. Both up 20 and 22 spots respectively. 330 points, tied 9th. Really, really cool.
It would have been unfair if they played every event.
I mean, 65 points to finish. They are sitting in 4th and 5th potentially.
Exactly.
Had they played, let's just put them into somewhere in that 60, 65 or better. And both these guys probably could finish in the top 4 to 5 easily. And you'd think, okay, they should be in the top 3 right now.
For sure.
If you don't kick yourself a little bit, that's the shit that haunts you at the end of the season.
Yeah, but they're probably trusting their game. They know they're going to get up there anyway. So
that's true.
Do it the hard way.
But down 5 spots, Mark Kacheski in 8th place, coming off a superb weekend. The win for Dale Beavers just sends him up the line. 31 spots to 7th place.
31.
That's pretty awesome. Charles Clark playing some consistent golf right now.
Very consistent. Yes.
And that consistency is keeping him in position number 6, up 1. Congrats to Charles Clark. Greg Graff in 6th place, or 5th place, up 34 spots. Now, is Greg Graff on the team? I can't recall. Oh yeah, Greg Graff's already on the team, so no one cares. Greg.
He finalized it in the summer or spring season.
Yep, he did. So Greg is invisible in 5th place. Just remember, give yourself one spot up, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Roger Murray's a beast.
He'll get there.
I mean, the man just continues to play solid golf. It's what got him on the South Texas Match Play Challenge team last year. It will ultimately be what I think brings him onto the team again. In 4th position, up 1 spot, and now we jump into our top 3. Sometimes missing a tournament can come back to bite you. But sometimes you miss a tournament and then you come back and win both tournaments.
Exactly.
And you get yourself in a spot tied for 2nd with my on-air host, Bradley Gilbert, tied for 2nd place, up 23 as well. Bradley, congrats. How do you feel in this moment?
I just don't want Matthew to leave me behind. Let's do it together, man.
There you go. And running away with it already. But there's still plenty of golf to be played. HEB may call him on a Saturday night and say, "We need you, Stephen Evans." And like Batman, he'll put on his suit and run away. Maybe he misses a tournament. Casey Graham, last person to start a season with 3 straight wins, was champ fighter Jeremy Jaramillo in the summer of 2021. Stephen Evans obviously took the spring season off to focus on his family. Seems like he was practicing.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say. I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Steven took the spring off to focus on his family or whatever. It seems like he was focused on golf and got some practice in, because this shit is looking like a very spectacular run in the making right now. Stephen Evans, congrats, staying at position numero 1.
Absolutely. Good playing.
Stephen Evans, what about 4 wins in a row?
Here we go. He's calling it.
I mean, what would be impressive is if Stephen Evans were to play both events this weekend and win. I would say back-to-back wins and getting 5 in a row is pretty legendary.
That would be awesome. And I feel like he was born with that swing. I don't even think he practices. I saw him hitting chip shots, but
I don't know what the child development curriculum is like for young Welsh children. Yeah. But my assumption is it does start with a golf club.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
I agree.
But congrats to Stephen Evans, number 1 in point standings. Guys, we I wanted a quick 30-minute show.
No, I just saw over an hour.
God damn it, I'm already way out of time. Guys, be on the lookout. We have, of course, this weekend, Olmos Basin. We've got 2 separate events out there. We've got the 2-person best ball on Saturday, stroke play on Sunday. So that's going to be really cool. Be on the lookout for second notice to players probably Friday, I would say, most likely, for your Saturday tournament. And I would say Friday, be on the lookout for first notice to, or second notice to players for stroke play on Sunday. There are technically still spots available for stroke play for anyone out there who did not get a chance to sign up. Not everybody is making the back-to-back rounds, but if you are interested, we were at, I think, 88 signups, so we definitely have some room to spare. Shoot an email to info@stxampcore.golf. Let us know if you want to play. We'll get you on there. We'll get you on the notice to players. It's certainly something that can be done.
Yeah, and you could be the next person that beats Jeff Wern and sees what it feels like to beat Jeff Wern.
I'm pretty sure I've beat Jeff Warren before. Um, but
it's getting harder and harder.
It's the cookie will taste that much sweeter.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to open it and eat it slowly in front of him.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
these are
amazing. Yeah, we still have spots. Registration online is closed, but you can still register, sign up for stroke play. Info at stxamtour.golf. Brad Gilbert, who is your pick tomorrow, or we're probably like 6 hours away, 7 hours away from the kickoff of the British Open, the Open at Troon. Who is your pick?
We have an office pool, and I was limited on because I was like 5th or 6th pick, but I do feel good about my pick for Cameron Young. You know, he played really well at St. Andrews last year. I mean, he definitely can hit the ball far enough. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. How about you?
You know, I like JT. I think JT figured something out last week. Getting his swing back in rhythm.
61, right? Last week?
Yep. He put a new proto in the bag, a new prototype Scotty in the bag that looked friggin' sick.
Nice.
And he had it working really, really well. He likes that weather. I'm kind of interested. I do like JT for this. What about the over/under on Brian Harman and how many club waggles? Maybe one of the dirtiest counters that they've ever put on a screen.
Yeah,
for showing his averages and all that shit. But
how many has it gotten? How high do we know?
Oh, like he did over 4,000 last year.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, it works for him, obviously.
I mean, it works. He's trying to defend, so we'll see.
I'd be talking myself out of a good shot if I did that many.
I just anyone who takes more than like 4 seconds, 5 seconds over the ball to me is an absolute psychopath.
No, everyone has their own process.
It's like walking up to a shot and being like, I'm about to chunk the thinner blade this shit over. God damn it, dude.
I know, right?
Get that out of your head.
But then you tell yourself,
you're so freaking good at wedges. That pisses me off. Like, you're so good at wedges. All right, guys, that's all we got for you. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Appreciate everyone sticking around. Congrats to our new top 10. Be on the lookout for first and second notices to players for the very, very busy weekend we have coming up at Olmos Basin. Brad, closing thoughts.
Man, like I said, Riverside was absolutely amazing. I freaking love Olmos Basin as well. So really excited to play Olmos Basin for 2 days in a row. And I mean, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. I am too, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be nice to be able to come down on Friday, spend the entire weekend down there, play some good golf, hang out. It's always nice to start the weekend off with a 2-person event. So looking forward to it. Everyone, thanks so much for hanging out. We will see you guys inevitably this weekend at Olmos Basin. Everyone have a good night. Thank you so much.
Play well, everyone.